So today, as you can already see from the title, what this review is, it's the Okami review. Now, I want to say, I actually haven't played a lot of this game so far. I'm just starting to actually get into the main part of the game, which is playing out in where the evil world is, whatever that's supposed to be. At night time, basically, all the people freeze, too. So that's something really weird about this game. See, I never played the original Okami game, so I don't know anything about the original storyline or anything. I'm playing this as a complete, Okami slap man. I have no idea anything about the game. I know that it has drawing in it, and that was about all I knew. I still have no idea how the PlayStation 2 analysed the drawing ideas into the game. Just doesn't sound very fun, considering the fact that I even have a hard time using the DS. Now, it's not that I have a hard time using it because of the bad control of, like, the stylus and all that. It's just because I'm not very good with my handwriting. I actually wrote on a slant quite a bit, and trying to trace things, which you have to do quite often in the game to get to little cutscenes and everything to move forward into the game. You need to trace it, not perfectly, but even... It's pretty easy, but I have a hard time either way. So I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so the game we're talking about is the Okami Den game. And you can see the cover's pretty nice, it's cute. And there's a couple things you're going to notice about this cover and everything, that I noticed, at least when I first picked it up and before I picked it up. Which I told you, like I said, I got screwed a day beforehand. And we'll go into that eventually. I'm trying to wait till I'm done being sick before I go into being angry about anything, because it hurts quite a lot to talk. And anyway... So the Okami game, what do I like about it? Well, I wrote it all down here, but I can't read my handwriting, so there's no way in hell I'm going to even use this. Bye-bye, paper. So anyway, the thing I want to say, though, now we're going to put this there, because I don't like having papers upside down, but the Okami Den game does. Shut up, Okami. Anyway, so the game has vibrant colours, which is very awesome, as you can see. The only thing I have to say is the cover, even though it may look vibrant to you, the cover is actually quite dull compared to quite a few other colours. So you can see how that stands out a little bit more. And even the Dragon Quest game, it's a lot brighter and a little bit more going on than this. Although I have to say one thing about the... Mario Kart game is this is one of the most boring covers I've ever seen for a video game in my entire life. It's terrible. This, at least, the Okami game at least shows adventure and looks a little bit more entertaining. But the first thing I noticed, and the first thing I really didn't like about this game, the main character looks like a girl. I thought that was a girl. I swear to God, I thought that was a girl the entire time. And throughout the entire game, you're going to wonder whether it's a girl or a boy, because at points in the game, it acts like a boy. Another time, it cowers like a girl. I have no idea who that's supposed to be, a girl or a boy. You take a good look at that for yourself. Look at that. Does not look much like a boy. If it wasn't wearing a blue outfit, you'd never know. Take a look at this picture, even girlier. That's pathetic. The only thing I really have to say, though, with this Okami game is it has some of the cutest characters in the entire world in the game, and thus being talking about the little bug creature thing that gives you hints and stuff in the beginning of the game, and then the whatever his name is, his name starts to be called Dog or Pooch, or his name becomes to be Mutt thanks to the main character here, this guy. But yeah, so his name is Mutt, even though before that his name wasn't Mutt. I don't know what it was called. To tell you the truth, I can't remember. It was something with an S, I think. I don't know. I'll put a little caption over me rambling here, because I don't remember what it's called. So anyway, the thing else I like about this game is easy to play for a beginner like myself, or anyone, and it's a good game for children and adults. What do I say about children and adults? Well, it's rated in the United States as E+10. In Europe, I have no idea what rating it is. Probably 7 or 10, I don't really know, I have no idea. I'm not too sure anymore. But anyway, it's made by Capcom, so Capcom made a lot of games for kids and adults, but they've always made a game that was in between both. I don't know if Capcom made the original Okami, I'm pretty sure they did, I don't know. Anyway, the point of the matter is, this game is good for kids and adults because there's a lot of adult humor and there's a lot of kid humor in the beginning. Beginning of the game, for instance, the bug creature was talking to the dog character. We'll call him Mutt for right now until I figure out his name. And anyway, he was talking to the dog, and the dog actually was starting to... So, take it for instance, in the beginning of the game, the bug actually was talking to the dog in the game, which is the main character, which I can't think of the name of, and he was going, "Oh, so your mother must have," and then it's like a pause, and it was kind of funny because it was basically saying, that it was basically making sexual reference, which is kind of funny, and I thought that was hilarious. And then also, there's this big-titted girl at this tree that you all probably know from the very first game because of, I guess, she was important to the first game, and her boobs are popping out in the thing. It's weird to have in a kids game, stuff like that, Other than that, there's alcohol in the game, there's smoking in the game, stuff like that. I think there's a little bit of drugs in the game, I'm not too sure just yet. I think on the back it makes a reference to drugs. No, it doesn't, but I did see alcohol and tobacco. I think the original one had drugs, and I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played enough of this game, and I've never played the other game, and all I've done is look at a little bit of trailers and stuff. Another thing is, this game, for kids now, it is very easy to play, and the story is very basic. The story is easy to follow, and it's not that, it's not too intense for little kids. I wouldn't recommend anyone before 8 years old playing this game. 10-year-olds, I think this is about the right age for them, because that's what it is, E10. Anyone up to 20-some years old can play this game. I think someone in their 30s playing this game, and 40s and all that's kind of a little weird, but, it's not to discriminate from anyone, it's a little weird. It's a kid's game, basically. To me, it's a kid's game, but it's got a lot of adult humor. For instance, his father, this boy's character, the father in the game, or I can't think of his stepfather as his real father, because in the game he's supposedly the son of some hero of the town, basically, who's dead, and I guess that these are his step-parents? I don't know. This character right here. I don't know. And anyway, you have to go to the one house where his mother lives, and then you have to go to the other house where his father lives, or his stepfather. I don't even understand this. And his father sleeps in the basement, which is really weird, and there's a gem above the thing you find after you do all this. Oh no, I know, the gem basically was, well, let me get to it. So basically, you have to go, this is what I'm also going to complain about. You have to go to point A, to go to point B, to go to point A, to go to point C, to go to point B. Again, that's really stupid. I hate this part of the game. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So, the guy, your stepdad or your dad is blocking the way out to the town because there's villains and there's, what they call, evil spirits or something, and they're lurking outside the big boulder thing that he put up. And you're able to break the boulder, but you can't break it just yet. You have to make your father go to sleep. And the way you do that is by going to the mother's house. You really don't get much of a hint. He does tell you if he had some of what I think is called Soke, S-A-K-K-E. I don't know. I can't really spell it. Or I don't know. It's either Seiki or Saki, I don't know. But I'm guessing it's alcohol because he gets drunk and falls. And we'll say, what happens is, basically, you have to go to his the boy's mother's house. You have to go to the mother's house to go to find out that she's not, to talk to her, then talk to him, then go to you would think to go back to her house, but you actually go to the house, the father's house of this guy. You go to the father's house, and she's in there asking where he's at. She says, "Oh, I have some sake left around somewhere." And then you have to go into the basement, and then you find the sake on the top of where he sleeps, but on the top of the ceiling there. Then you have to do this little cut thing to make it fall down. Then you collect it. Then you have to go back to the father. It's really insane. And then the father falls asleep, and then you're able to cut the boulder. I don't know. It's quite irritating to go to A to B to C. It's just. The backtracking part is an irritating thing for me, but it had a good story too, and I thought it was kind of funny. But the fact that they're actually using alcohol, they could have just, could have been food that made them fall asleep, could have been anything, and they just chose to make it alcohol. I guess that's not what I had in mind. Anyway, it's a very creative sequel storyline so far for me too. The basic storyline is basically this Pooch, whatever the damn thing, I don't know what the name was, but he's the son of the other dog. The two dogs had sex basically, and then they had him somehow. I don't know how he has all these stripes and all that. I'm not too sure. But apparently those are special markings that no one else in the town can see besides the little boy. The little boy can see it. But in the beginning of the game, you're with this little beetle character, which I'm sure you probably know from the first game. If you don't, then I don't know, because this green little bug thing. And it's trying to make him find a new hero so he can save the town, basically, and save the trees and save the people and all this crap, So basically, you have to go do all that, and he finally finds this little boy, and that's how it becomes, you know, their partners. And the little boy acts like a coward in the beginning and tries to impress this little girl who lost her mother's mirror thanks to some evil spirits, and she won't stop crying, which is quite irritating because you don't get to see her face until you give the goddamn mirror. She's such a crybaby, you can't even get her, you know, whatever. How does he even know she's pretty? She could have been the most ugly piece of shit in the world, you know? I mean, come on now. I don't know. But anyway, so he basically, the little boy takes the dog to the secret hideout, and you jump through some portals and stuff, and then this is where you learn how to use the buddy system, and all that stuff, and there's quite a few things you can do in it. You learn to use the slashing moves and everything, learn to fight creatures, learn to avoid getting like ran over by these ball things, and using the platforming part of the game and everything. So it's quite interesting. You get to see all the creatures and stuff, and then you basically get to go back to the town, and that's when you have to do all the stuff to get your father to open up, and that's basically where I am now, where the boulder needs to be cut, and I cut the boulder, which is cool because it also teaches you that you can use the dual cutting system, where the dog and you basically and the main character cut the wall or whatever, the boulder. Very cool. I'm sure it's going to come in handy later in the game. Now that is all where I am in this game right now. So that being said, let's take a look at what I have to say besides what I've already said about this game. Well, the other thing I have to say is the characters are very good in the game, and I like the main character, even though I just wish the main character looked different. They look way, way too girly. That needs to be fixed. As for the dog, or whatever the Pooch or Mutt, whatever the dog's name is, I don't know, it's something fancy. But anyway, whatever the dog's called, that's very cool too. The dog is so cute. You can't, I don't even know, it's just so cute. And then look at the drawing on the back. It looks like a whole different drawing. It's really weird to have a total different looking drawing. It's really weird. Let's see. Looks a little bit too kiddie-ish in that one. It actually looks more like a cat. It looks just like a cat in this one. And let me show you what I'm saying, just because I've just noticed that looks a lot like a cat. That looks like a cat, like you wouldn't believe, and then look at that. It's no... whatever. So anyway, I've noticed that, and I'm actually trying to use this as a cheat sheet right now, because I have to keep looking at this to remember what I want to say about the game. So, some negatives about the game otherwise. The touchscreen is well used, but it's also not used enough. The reason for it is there's certain things, like, it's not complex enough. There's nothing to the game besides easy little swipes. It just seems very easy to kill opponents. There's these little die things that you have to go hit, like barrels and stuff, and little vases to actually get. But, you know, it's not very fun. It's a little bit fun, but it's just irritating. The reason why it's so irritating is when you want to do any kind of, like, cutting or anything, you have to press the L or the R, you know, the buttons on the sides, and what happens is it goes through a 3-second or 2-second animation where the screen drops down to the bottom screen, and then you can start doing your little thing, press it again, then it is an animation, and then it finally does what it had to do. So it's quite irritating for it to go whoop, whoop, doot, doot, and then you finally get to see that you've done something. And if you did it wrong, then you basically wasted your time. And when you're doing the slashing, you really can't go on a diagonal with it. It's so sensitive. You need to be completely like straight with it to attack opponents or cut things. And you know, you'll get used to it eventually, but it's kind of sometimes even if you do a straight line, it doesn't read it very well. I don't know why. So I don't know. I've tried it quite a bit, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The tracing thing, like I said, to see the, I don't know, they had the same markings as the dog, and they pop out and they give you a little story, and they say they'll help you, but they can't help you right now, or something. I don't know. Very confusing for that. But it's just kind of interesting to have to trace things in the stars and everything. It's really cool. What else do I have to say is, the buddy system, it makes the game way too easy. I mean, it's almost impossible to die in this game, and if you do die, which I died once, just because I wanted to see how it looked when I died, there's nothing, I mean, it's just way too easy. You're never going to die in this game, and I haven't got to any bosses yet, so I don't really know that yet. But so far, the game seems very, very easy. And again, the running from point A to B to C, you know, a lot of it's just A to B, A to B, A to B, and then sometimes you get the A to B, the C to B to A. You know, it's just really, it's really annoying to have to run back and forth, no matter what the reason is for it, you know. It's not very entertaining for me. So, anyway, I don't know. The game is good. It's great. I really like it. And this happens to be not my favorite DS game, but it's within my top 2 or top 3, you know, it's within those. This is a very good game. I highly recommend picking this up. The only thing I have to say is the colors are really faded. I don't like that. And this is a brand new copy, and I've seen them in Walmart, I've seen them everywhere, and they're faded like this. I don't know why. It's not very artsy, it's just irritating to see the cover faded. I do like the cover, but understand I don't like the main character looking so girly. And on the back, like I said, it really makes it bad. So let me show you a little bit of what the clips look like from the game, so you get an idea. So you can see the circles. You can see it really looks like a girl there. Look at that. That's the boy character holding a fan in a very Chinesey looking girly outfit. Oh, that looks so stupid. I haven't been there yet, obviously, so I can't really comment. You can see the colors, though, from the pink trees. Those are really, really nice. The colors in this game, I swear to God, these happen to be probably the best colors in a game I've seen in a while. The only other game that I was comparing it to for a while, until I got a little farther in, was this game, because this game has a lot of colors too. But this game beats it. In between which is funner for me so far, between this game, DQM, or Okami Den, oh, it's so hard for me to say. I really like DQM too. But the thing is, DQM had a lot of leveling up problems and stuff. This game levels up very easy. It's almost like a baby game. When it comes to leveling up, this is a baby game. This is super easy. That is more complex than anybody can think of. And it's not because it's a good game with leveling up, it's just because the leveling up system was retarded in this game. Mental, whatever you want to call it. If you're so offended by that, I don't care. Anyway, so get Okami if you haven't bought it. If you want the sequel, get Okami Den. If you haven't played the first one, Okami Den is very, very inviting for people that haven't played the first one. And if you're not into cruel humor and, you know, more mature humor, then I definitely recommend Okami Den. And if you're a kid, I definitely recommend this over the other one. Just because there's more sexual humor in the other one and things like that. No, I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm never going to play the original, ever. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to play it. Although when I buy the Wii, or whatever, I get the Wii from my parents, depending if they're going to get it for my birthday, I might buy the original. I might. But the, you know, port to the Wii, I might. There's a maybe. Tell me what you think about that. How is the Okami on the Wii? How is it on the PS2? I don't know. So leave your comments. Tell me what you think of this little review. I know I had a hard time doing this, but I'm trying, you know. It's worth the price. This was a $29.99 game in the United States, and whatever that converts to in pounds or whatnot, I'm not too sure. But pretty good deal. I'm happy with it. Take care, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this review.